Hey everybody, Mark from Overlook Valley Homestead. I got a project going on today. Well, actually, it's been going on the last week or so, and as usual, I started the project without videoing it. It's just a habit. But anyway, Sarah, she got on to me and said, "Hey, you need to go video that." So I was kind of reluctant to make a video on this because there's so many videos already out on it. But maybe I've done something different that other people didn't do. So what I'm working on today is a chicken plucker. I think they call it a Whizbang chicken plucker. It's my version of it. I watched several videos of other people building theirs, and I just took from it what I could. There is a book that you can buy that has all the dimensions and explains everything. But I'm not gonna buy a book or something when I can see it with my eyes. I think I can figure it out on my own. So, but hey, if you need the book, that's what it's there for, and it's a good idea to get, I guess. It make things easier on you. I say that for sure because I have really had to do a lot of different figuring and to figure out where to put all the holes and stuff in it, and just kind of piecing things together. What I tried to do was use things that I already had here on the homestead without having to buy a bunch of stuff. And I did pretty good on the things I found around here, so I ended up not having to buy a whole lot of the pieces, but I did have to buy the fingers that are used to pluck a chicken with. You can get these off of Amazon or eBay, and they're not priced too terribly bad, but they're basically just rubber. And we'll show you how that works. They pull and pop in, kind of like a valve stem on a tire does. So I had to buy those. I also had to buy some bearing blocks. That's something that I didn't have. But most everything I was able to get off something else here on the homestead that I didn't use anymore, or something that I just put up just in case I'd use it one day. So anyways, let's just get into this video and get started, and I'll show you the things that I done, and maybe to help you if you got it in your mind to build one. And like I say, there's so many videos on it out there, so many different ways. I imagine the book that you buy on it probably tells you the right way, but I think everybody's way that I've seen works. So there's probably not a right or wrong way. You just build what you can with what you have. So that's what we do here. So I'm gonna turn you around here and show you what I'm working on. Okay, I've already showed you the chicken fingers that you have to purchase to do this with. They go into a 3/4 hole, and they're slotted 3/16 on the end to pull through. One of the first things that I had to figure out when I started doing this was the feather plate for the chicken pluckers. You can purchase those offline. They're somewhere around, I've seen them from like $75 up to $90. And me personally, and I'm just stubborn, I guess, I'm not gonna pay $75 or $90 for a small sheet of 3/16 aluminum like that. I just couldn't bring myself to do it if there's another way, and there is other ways. There's several other ways, but I understand why they use the aluminum. It's easier to clean, and it's not like if you use steel, it can rust, because it has water going on at all time. But another option to use besides that is plastic, and that's what I did. At first I had a hard time finding something stable that was big enough to make a feather plate out of. So I had, from past projects, I had some cutting board that was a 1/2 inch thick around here, and the piece that I needed to start with needed to be Well, I wanted a piece that was 2 foot by 2 foot, 24 by 24 to cut my circle wide up. And I didn't have a piece like that. I looked around to see about buying it, and it's good gracious, it's high too. So, what I did have was one piece that was 12 inches wide and 48 inches long. So I cut that in half, and then I had two pieces that were 12 inches by 24. And then I learned something. Well, I've done it once before, but I learned how to plastic weld, and I welded them together. They're polypropylene plastic, or however you say that word. And I didn't do the best job in the world, because I don't do it all the time. But I did do it, and it's secure. I don't think it's gonna break. I stood on it and jumped up and down, and it wouldn't break. So I felt like I did a pretty good job welding it. So, I weigh 180 pounds, so I figure if it'll hold me up, that 5 or 10 pounds worth of chicken probably not gonna break it down. So, anyways, so this is what I come up with, and you can see where I welded it across here. But it's pretty sturdy. It's a 1/2 inch thick. So that I come up with that. My next dilemma was these are made for 3/16 holes. So if you put these in here, they're not going to lock in place correctly. So I decided that I would build something to put on top of this that would hold the fingers. So my next thing that I had to think about was, how was I gonna do that? And I got to looking around on some of the other videos, and I seen that several people had used parts of plastic garbage can or plastic 55-gallon drums that they cut off. They cut the lids off or the bottoms off, and they used those, and those worked really good, And I thought, well, I don't want to use just that. Because I feel like it'd be flimsy. But if I put that on top of this and screw it down, it's going to be pretty solid. So I'll show you that in a minute. Another thing that I did have to purchase, which I bought this at my local Tractor Supply store, is a piece of 3/4 inch pipe. It's 3/4 inch steel pipe. And then they have these little anchor things right here. I'll show you. That just screws in. You see these in bathrooms a lot, where it mounts down to a concrete floor or tile floor or something like that. But it's made out of steel. So in my mind, I thought, well, that makes a perfect way to mount that. So that's what I did. You can weld this if you want to, or just tighten it really good. I ain't made up my mind if I'm going to weld it or tighten it yet. But, I'm kind of just playing, doing it as I go and learning as I go. To figure out how to do this and make it work. Sarah has bought 16 chickens that are meat chickens, and I just don't want to pluck them by hand. I don't think that I would enjoy that very much. I've always been raised to work smarter, not harder. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid of hard work at all, but if there's an easier way and I can make it happen, that's what I want to do. So I thought I'd venture in to try and build this. I watched some of the other channels, like I watched Mr. Danny over at Deep South Homestead. He built one, and he talked a lot about it, and did a really good job on it. And I thought, well, that's some good ideals. And then I watched several others. I can't name them all. If I tried to tell you all the ones I named, I would be here all day long. But anyways, I just wanted to give a shout out to him for putting that video up for somebody like me to learn from. That's why we do homesteading videos. I always say that I miss my calling, because building things out of other things is something that I love to do. I do it all the time here on our homestead. I got a video where I turned an old hot water heater into it's like a packer where you can pack down your driveway or dirt. That worked out really good. Several videos on other things that I've built, and that's just what I do. I like to do that, and if I could get paid to be a fabricator, I think that's what I would have liked to have done. But my only problem with that is I want to do what's in my mind. I want to fabricate things that I think about, not what they would pay me to do. So it probably wouldn't work out good for me. But anyways, I'll fabricate at home when I can and do as much as I can and just enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy it too. So, all right, let me get something else and I'll show you some more about this thing. Okay, the first dilemma that I came up with was figuring out where to drill the holes in the feather plate. That is something that I couldn't figure out. Just real quickly, so I had to study on it a little bit. So what I did is I went online and I got a picture of a feather plate, which gave me an idea of how the holes were sorted out in it. Now, I don't know if it matters or not, if you just line the fingers up or if you kind of stagger them. I noticed a lot of people are doing the staggering thing, so I guess probably either way would work. But what I did is I had this piece of it's like cardboard, but it's like plastic cardboard, I guess would be the thing to say. And I figured out where I wanted my holes in it, and I made me a pattern. And this holds it holds 63 of those fingers that I was telling you about. They're 3/4 inch holes. And then the spacing on them is 2 1/4 inches. That's what worked out, and it worked out perfectly on this size circle. This was a 20 and a half inch circle, which is, I was told 20 1/4, 20 and a half work. You got a little bit of play as to how big it can be in your barrel. So anyways, I made this pattern, and then I had to decide what I was going to put it on. So I got this garbage can bottom. Well, I call it a garbage can, but it's the bottom of a 55-gallon drum barrel, plastic 55-gallon drum barrel. And I cut it out. That's a little warped up, but it'll straighten out when I get it. That's when I got it screwed to the wall here, so it will kind of straighten itself back out. I left it out in the sun, and it kind of got at the bottom a little warped, but it's gonna be okay. So I put my pattern on this, and I started drilling my holes. And yesterday I test fitted some of the fingers to see that they were going to work, and that's perfect. You couldn't ask for nothing any better than that. So this is going to be my feather plate. I got to clean it up a little better. Some of where I drilled, still some of the plastic on it, But I did this yesterday evening. I didn't have a lot of time to mess with it, so I was just doing a little bit just to try and see how it would go. So let's move along. I'll show you something else on the project that I've done so far. Okay, so I noticed that a lot of folks put like a little sprinkler system around the top of their chicken plucker so that it could spray water on it as the chickens were going around inside of it to help wash the feathers off and wash them down the bottom. So I went to Rural King and I bought this plastic PEX tubing. This is 1/2 inch tubing. I bought several fittings, and that's what I'm using for my water ring on my barrel. I'm going to turn you around and show you the barrel here. So this is my barrel, and this is what I've got done so far on it. This is my 55-gallon drum. It's kind of weathered where it's been outside, but it doesn't matter. That's just an appearance thing. So I guess you could paint it or whatever you want to do. And I may paint all this when I get done with it, assuming that it works good. I built a 2x4 frame. I used a 3-inch decking screws to put together. I've seen where some people are using bolts and bolting it together, and I guess that would be okay too, but I'm pretty sure these decking screws will hold up for this. Decking screws are awesome if you've never used them. They're pretty good. So anyways, I had this motor around here. I had it already here on the homestead. I've used it for a couple of different things, but it's a 1/2 horsepower motor, turns 1,725 RPMs. which is what's recommended that you use when you build one of these. So I was fortunate to already have that around, so that saved me probably the biggest part of the money on this project, because those motors can get expensive, especially if you buy a new one. I think I bought that one several years ago back off of eBay and probably gave, I think, maybe 40-50 bucks for it. So that was a good deal back then. It's still a good deal today if you can find one for that. But anyways, another thing that I had, if you can see it, is I'll turn it around a little bit. This is an old towel rack that comes out of the bathroom, and I thought, you know what, that would make a really good handle to put on there. I wasn't doing anything else with it, so I thought, hey, let's use that. So I've done that. So far I put the electrical box on, test fit the cover. I did buy this waterproof cover for the switch, just, you know, for safety. I don't want to get electrocuted, and I don't Sarah get electrocuted or nothing, you know, so I got to build a cover. It's going to go over the motor. And then the next thing I started working on, I hadn't put wheels on it yet either, so that's something that I got to do, is the water ring, if you can see that in here. I've already put it around the barrel just as the mock-up, and it goes through the frame and into the barrel right here. And I come out with, and I turned into a 3/4 PEX tubing, and I had this adapter that would go into 3/4 for a water hose to fit, and it has an on and off switch right here. So I don't see why that wouldn't work. So that much is done. Let's see, I had to drill a hole right down there in the bottom for the shaft to go through, and I had to make a place for the feathers and water and stuff to come out. So let me turn it around again. So this is what I come up with on that. I took some of the old plastic that was left off the top part of the drum that I cut, and what I did, now I've seen a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. Kitty just loves videos, I think. Anyways, I split the barrel and I rolled out each side. This is actually each side, if you can see that. And I screwed them up into this tube board so that it would have sides on it. And then I took another piece of the old barrel and cut out and made a top. You know, that helped keep water off the tube out. My plans are, let's go over, Kitty. My plans are to be able to take a 5-gallon bucket and set right underneath here, and it catch all the waste. Now we'll see how that works. I might have to work on this some more, maybe put a front on it or something. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how that goes. But anyways, so this is pretty much as far as I am into the build. So I will, from this part of the video on out, I'll try and let you watch me build the rest of it, and let's see how it goes. I did acquire a large 14-inch pulley that goes underneath the barrel off of no air compressor. And then I went to my local tractor supply store and I bought a 1.5 inch pulley that goes on the motor. And believe it or not, I even had a belt laying around here that's the perfect size. I know that because I've already tested it. So it's going to go on, be really tight. Some people have to put eyelers on theirs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think I'm going to have to on this one, but we'll deal with that when we get there. I have heard as long as the belt's really tight, you don't have to have an eyeler. So that's what I'm going to go for. It may make it a kind of a pain when I need to change the belt, but I don't think I'll be changing the belt on this very much. I think it will last for years, probably on the same belt. But anyways, let's just get started on this and see what happens. I'm going to try to set the camera up, and you can watch me and Kitty as we do this project. We'll see what we come up with. I guess one of the first things that I'm going to do, and I'm not going to make you watch me go through all that, is go ahead and finished putting the fingers inside the plate that I made. I do know that if the back is chamfered a little bit where you pull it in, it sure does help get them in there a whole lot easier. Another thing is a little bit of vegetable oil or something on the fingers, some kind of lubricant, before you pull them through the hole makes a big difference on how hard or easy they are to go through the hole. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll bring a video back and show you a little bit more about it here in a minute. Okay, I finally got all the little fingers put in the plate, and that's what we ended up with. Looks pretty good to me, compared to the ones I've looked at on the internet. So my next thing will be mounting this plate to this plate. Now what I did is I also drilled 2 holes and put some down in here. And actually after seeing how these went in, I could have probably just put the fingers right in this, but hey, live and learn, right? That's what I do. But these 2 are to help wipe the feathers out of the bottom as it rotates. Let's see how that works. So I'm gonna put it together and we'll go from there. We'll just put a couple screws in it to start with, just to get it lined up. It's probably good if you have a magnetic bit too. It's mounted on there. I'm gonna put some more screws in it, but it's starting to look like something. Okay, I've test fitted the finger plate inside the barrel, and it looks like it's gonna be pretty good down in there. Now it's time for me to take this whole thing apart, because I just put it together as a mock-up while I was waiting on the fingers to get here and the bearings to get here. I'm gonna need to take it apart so that I can put the fingers around the barrel. Okay, I've got the barrel taken out. There it is. And now we're ready to put the bearing plates on. This is something that I did have to order. I use 3/4 pipe for my shaft. In order a 3/4 pipe, the shaft is 1 inch and 1/16 around. So I ordered, it's actually just a hair over 1/16, so it's pretty tight. So I ordered 1 inch and 1/8 bearings, and they're self-aligning, so you know, it can be just a little loose, and you tighten the Allen screws up, and it'll be just great. So that's what I ended up ordering. I got these off eBay for around $12, $13 a piece. So I'm gonna put that on and try to line the shaft up and try to figure out where we're gonna put the holes for the other fingers that go into the barrel. So I'm drilling the holes around the barrel for the fingers to go in, and that's what I got so far. But I just wanted to show you what I did to get these lines. Is I used this edge right here. I cut a block of wood that was 3 inches long and slid it against this edge like this, and this is a 1/2 inch block, and marked it as I went around to get an idea of, you know, where a straight line. And then I took a tape measure and I went every 2.5 inches and made little marks around the barrel so that you could see. Sorry about that. So that I would know where to drill the holes. So that's what I'm doing now, and I won't make you suffer through that. So I'll go ahead and get that done, and then we'll probably go ahead and put the fingers in and then start the reassembly of the machine. Okay, after a long day of pushing those little rubber fingers in and lots of drilling and taking it apart and putting it back together, I guess it's almost done. I got to get the water system done. But there's the fingers in it. Looks like everything I've seen, so I think that should work. I guess it's time for a true test. Let's plug it up and see if it works now. Alright, here goes nothing. Yeah, I finished up the Whizbang chicken plucker, or I guess that's what you call it. And I'm going to show you what I ended up with. I realized I didn't show you all the steps in the video, but I was busy and working on it and not thinking about filming. But if there's anything you want to know about it, just shoot me a message down below and I'll be glad to answer it and tell you what I know about it. What I learned off the internet. So anyways, I'm going to show you what we ended up with here. Okay, there it is. It ain't pretty, but I guess it works. I'll show you the insides of it. I finally got my water spout put on and got the switch box wired up, and this I told you this is an old towel rack that I used. I had this little thing out in my shop, so I stuck it on there. I thought I couldn't think of nothing else to do with it, so. But anyways, there it is. I'll cut it on, let you see what it does. We're not doing chickens today, obviously, so I can't throw a chicken in there and see if it works, but we'll just see what happens. So we'll flip the switch. Alright, we'll turn the water on. There it is, pretty much. This is where the water comes out. We're going to put a 5-gallon bucket under there. And I can definitely tell you, by the way, that it's squirting out like that. Those fingers that are underneath are doing their job as far as throwing things out the tube. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this helps you out if you have some questions about it. You know, you've seen other people do it. Maybe you didn't understand something, or like I say, if you have questions for me, just put them below in the comments, and we will be sure and get back to you on that. And thank y'all for visiting us here at Overlook Valley Homestead, and God bless you.